Good morning. This is Michael WW2, and I have a video for you today. And this video, let me just read the title. Let's Make America Great Again has ominous undertones rooted in U.S. policy since World War II. Now, once you understand the undertones and undercurrent, it'll disgust you. Okay, and you see this on all these MAGA hats and everything, and Donald Trump was the guy. We'll just use DT. Donald Trump was the guy who was using the "Let's Make America Great Again." Okay, so what's wrong with that? Someone might ask. Why is that such a bad thing, right? Because you'd be starkly surprised for me to start off from the beginning say that has ominous undertones. Well, the "Let's Make America Great Again," if you were to take all the decades of U.S. history, it's going to be said that the 1950s is the greatest time in American history, the 1950s. And why? Because we had prosperity, financial prosperity. So this is "Let's Make America Great Again" is the prosperity of the 1950s. Makes sense, right? What most people don't realize is that the only reason that the United States had a 1950s prosperity was because World War II destroyed all manufacturing sector in Europe. World War II destroyed all manufacturing. Because of World War II, all the factories were done in Germany, England, France. All these nations' manufacturing capacity, it was pretty much zero. So now, what do they need? They need cars. They need refrigerators. They need all kinds of heavy industry. This is what made America's profits skyrocket during after World War II. Post World War II, profits went skyrocketing. So when every time that I would hear Donald Trump saying "Make America Great," or people saying "Make America Great Again," they're talking about a post-war economy. A post-war economy when the other side is forced to buy from you. Now, remember that, because the business sector understands money. They understand money. If you think about all the wars, especially the recent ones in the last 20 years, America has turned into a nation destroying, nation rebuilding business. So if you go to Iraq, which was a manufactured war, you'll hear about the Bush family and Halliburton. So let me tell you how this works. So you have buildings in Iraq, factories in Iraq, and the United States comes in, carpet bombs everything. All infrastructure is gone. After all the infrastructure is gone, the U.S. brings in U.S. business with security to rebuild, and rebuild is another word for sell again all the stuff that was destroyed. Yeah. So the image of pre-U.S. intervention, post-U.S. intervention. And this "Made in America, Made in America, Made in America." This is Iraq. Every place the United States has been going into has been to recreate the Roaring '50s, or "Let's Make America Great Again." If you try telling this to one of these people, they're not going to get the aha moment. because they're too rooted in the stupid patriotism, but they are still responsible. They are still responsible. You give a baby a razor blade, it doesn't know what it's going to do. It's going to cut itself. And the inverse, you tell these people, they're going to clinch onto their stupid ideas. Dumb. Dumb as a stump. So stupid. Now, this Ukraine, Russia is being looked at with the optics of U.S. You know, they're looking at Russia and what's going on in Ukraine, and they're saying that where are the airplanes? Why isn't Russia bombing Ukraine like the U.S. does it? Because Russia doesn't want to destroy the infrastructure in Ukraine. Russia doesn't want to resell everything in Ukraine from Russia. That's the goal, is to keep Ukraine intact and capture it and push out U.S. interests. Listen to the news. All the news keeps talking about is how Putin is not doing this or Putin's not doing that. Russia's not trying to use the American policy of destroy everything. And meanwhile, the United States does that. Hundreds of thousands of people are dead, and nobody even puts anything on the news about it. You don't hear nothing. But Russia runs over a woman in a car with a tank. You know, she runs the car over, and now everybody's crying these big tears, you know, because of that person, because of the optics. The optics. Now, why am I saying that? Is because people don't understand what they say when they say something. There's always a spiritual undertone. And the spiritual undertone is the language of the truth. The spiritual undertone is the language of the truth. So when you see Make America Great, you're looking at a slogan for warmongering, destroying, killing people, and rebuilding a nation, because we can't compete on the open market. The United States cannot make money unless it has a war economy. We sell weapons, we create wars. That's why the United States is not really winning wars. You kind of like, bust them up to a pulp, and you kind of leave them so that they can come back up again, so the United States can go back in again. So this is what America, let's keep America great again. Now, since I'm on this topic of these undertones, I'm going to give you another one. I said this in another video, but I like popping these in. When someone says good luck to you, you will not hear me say good luck. Okay? Good luck. Why? Because good luck is actually cursing God. It's cursing God. And you might be surprised. How can good luck curse God? Okay. Good or fortunate, luck is probability. Probability has nothing to do with God. Back 40 years ago, Godspeed was the term. Now it's good luck. From Godspeed, we went to good luck. We went from purpose and blessing to random probability. And this random probability is also part of the descent from the world of relativity to the world of quantum. Because quantum works in the probability randomness, whereas relativity works more on purpose or identity. So people are being programmed, or have been programmed, to speak because of these slogans and things like that. But there is an ominous undertone. Let's make America great again is like, let's go back to the 50s and the 50s is we sold stuff to Europe because Europe is busted up. We're in another conflict. We're in another conflict now, and like I had said in the other videos, the United States is to blame for what's going on to Russia, because the idea is, if Russia is too busy dealing with Ukraine, if Russia is busy dealing with Ukraine, then the U.S. can sell gas to EU nations. The idea is to get Russia away from selling their gas to the EU. So they created this conflict with Russia and Ukraine because they couldn't bypass Russia, the profit-making part with Ukraine during the 2014 coup d'etat. So you can safely say the coup d'etat of 2014 in Ukraine is part of America's Let's Make America Great Again. Export a war or create a war environment between Russia and Ukraine. They're not selling gas to EU, and the U.S. follows through what they did post World War II in the 50s. Yeah, and you can see this with all the other engagements. Iraq, Syria. What did Trump say? Syria, let's get the oil. Let's take the oil. And the oil was taken. Russia had the images of the tankers driving on the streets, on the highways or roads, and it was driving into Turkey, loaded up to a boat in an Israeli ship, and it was going to Ashdod. So Syria's oil was funneled to Israel. That's part of, again, Let's Make America Great policy. It would be wonderful if people have no excuse anymore. Because in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, it was easier to hide information. In the 90s, still easy. The 2000s, still easy. Today, you have no excuse. You have no excuse for being a bottom feeder of information. If you get information from the TV, or you're doing the willful ignorance, which is, you're reading a story and the most pertinent part is right here, and you stop reading right before. There's a big cognitive dissonance, and I demonstrate this with the Bible all the time. They give me the verse, but they don't give me the last verse. That their point is undermined by the one part that they did not read, this cognitive dissonance. If you're watching TV and you're getting mainstream media, you're getting information from the swamp. That means the water's on the mountain, and it comes down the mountain, it goes through the rivers, through the lakes and everything, and then finally gets to the swamp. And this is where the TV is. That's where your TV is. TV information is swamp information. You're getting what everybody added to it on the way down. All the poop. Every cow that pooped in that water is what you're drinking in as your source of information. You are responsible for your information. You are going to be held accountable for that. When the shit hits the fan and you're going to be one of those people howling, oh my goodness, what happened? What happened? Nah. Yeah, there was no surprise. There was no surprise. Wave your flags from whatever country you think, or if you want to vilify something, get to know the problem before you vilify the right people or the wrong people. Figure it out. Because if not, whatever occurs, you're just going to be the recipient of whatever's left over. You're going to have a swamp identity. And it's funny too, the same guy who's part of the swamp said he was going to clean out the swamp. Remember, we started with Donald Trump, right? He said that he was going to clean out the swamp. He is giving you more swamp. The United States has lost its hegemony. The United States is about to collapse financially. They want to keep Russia out of becoming stronger petrol sales or gas sales because it could be a stronger economy for them to create another money instead of the dollar. The world is running on the petrodollar of the United States. Once you cut off the petrodollar of the United States, then the swamp will start to stink. Everybody will start seeing the swamp of the U.S. and the way they conducted business. You can't see that if you're still thinking that bombing other countries is okay, and condemning Russia because they didn't carpet bomb Ukraine. It's just pathetic. Anyway, God bless, and I hope you share this information with others, because and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. God bless.